This is a cool little one. It's the Studebaker M29 cargo carrier, also nicknamed the Wessel. Weasel. Weasel.
You've seen Frozen too many times. You're like Wesselton.
Wesselton. It's Weaselton. This is actually designed for an Allied attack into Norway, which never happened.
We did not do that.
And so we ended up just giving it to the Army and the Marine Corps in general. Turned out to be really useful for getting across like sand and mud and swamps and such. Very commonly, the Marines used it on Iwo Jima and Okinawa mostly as an ambulance to be able to pull casualties off because of its mobility. Here we go. You don't see a lot of World War I vehicles, but this is a M1917 5-ton artillery tractor. It's shockingly, during World War I, most artillery was actually still horse transported.
I know.
As the U.S., we're like, well, nope, vehicles. They ordered 11,000 of these to be able to move artillery around.
Holy crap.
Yeah. There aren't that many survivors, I'm guessing, even despite that. It is a really nicely preserved version, too. The ever popular. Again, we're seeing a lot of stuff that we've seen at the Military Vehicle Museum in Du Bois. So the M3A1 Scout car. Again, not actually that popular and not used very much. A lot were sent to the Russians and to the Chinese nationalists. Which explains why we don't have so many. We manufactured almost 21,000 of them, and over 11,000 were sent to other people. Probably because it was big, heavy, not very off-roady, and lacked protection. Yep. Here's a neat one. The M3 motor carriage. That has a 75 millimeter gun attached to it. These are formed as like a stopgap measure for anti-tank guns until the U.S. manufacturing could catch up. So these were not in use in the U.S. very much. Basically, it was deployed during the North Africa campaign and into the invasion of Sicily, and then not very much after that. Here we are, the M5. This is the M5 Stuart, so a common light tank for U.S. forces. Very fast. The British use these a lot. Also, they nicknamed them honeys because they are apparently so sweet to drive. So this actually had two V8 Cadillac engines in it, which made it reasonably fast for the time. Fairly fast.
It can be pretty zippy.
Pretty zippy. So a lot of tanks they're using rotary engines, and like a lot of the same engines would be used for aircraft as for tanks because they have the high horsepower, low weight, and they needed to relieve that pressure because they wanted to save airplane engines for airplanes. So they put a pair of Cadillacs in there. This is neat. So here we have a Avenger air defense system. They basically took a Humvee, mounted a turret on it with two quad Stinger missile launchers on it. It also had a 50 caliber mounted in this box over here. But that was really more of like an immediate self-defense system. Did not have a lot of ammunition on it. But this is like a stopgap air defense system for not quite front lines, but just behind the front lines. The Stinger is not a very long-range system. Does it tell us what the range on a Stinger is? I want to say Stingers are only about like 6 kilometers, maybe 8. But you know, obviously, you can tell that with the lack of armor, this is not necessarily a frontline weapon. The Marine Amtracks. This is the Marines armored personnel carrier. So this was the Marines M113 in a sense. Here,
Really?
There's the armies. These are huge. These were designed to carry Marines amphibiously from like the boat onto shore. So they were armored, and I want to say carry 21 passengers.
It's a lot of people.
So twice the capacity of the 113. But yeah, these were completely amphibious and were actually run a lot through the water. That was like their job, as compared to the Bradleys, which never went into the water, even though they were designed to. I think the Army did, like when they first fielded them,
Yeah.
and when the system didn't work quite as well because it was very susceptible to damage. You started driving around, you poked holes in the canvas skirts and so on and so forth. The crews didn't like to maintain them because it was a pain in the butt. And so, anyway, but these were designed to be amphibious. Entered in night combat when were they built? First introduced in 1972, so it's been upgraded a little bit since. But yeah, still no design. The Marines have been working on a new one, but I don't know if they've ever actually fielded it yet. That light's glaring. So you can definitely see the size of these things. These are huge. That is some unfortunate lighting, though.
We've seen mules of that.
Yeah, the museum. Yeah, you remember the little mule?
I remember the little mules because I think they were.
They had one that had never been taken out of the
Yeah.
box. Yeah, look at it. Isn't it so wee, isn't it?
Really a smart design. So useful.
What we got here? Ground-launched cruise missile.
You can go inside. You can see it inside it.
Oh, yeah, we can see inside the compartment. Here we go. Yeah, these were multiple systems. So this was probably did they tell us? This is probably like the command trailer. Yep, it's definitely command trailer. There's a coffee pot. The operator station right there. Oh, we can step in. And a toilet. Another operator down there. So this is apparently the prime mover for it. Early model Hemet. BGM-109 Griffin ground-launched cruise missile. Ground-launched variant of the Tomahawk missile. Entered service in '83. And dismantled in basically all gone by 1991 through the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty from '88.